Hi there, this is Grace Holiday reporting for WAC TV. I'm here today with our newly appointed President Mitchell Reiss. Thank you for talking to us today.
My pleasure.
First of all, can you tell us why do you think you're the man for the job here at Washington College?
Well, first of all, I think I was very fortunate to be selected to lead Washington College. I think that the combination of my past experience in academia, in government, with international organizations, and with the think tank community was very appealing to the selection committee. And I think I can bring that wealth of that experience and leverage it on behalf of the college.
Great. So how are you going to change the school?
Well, I think that in order for change to be most effective, it really has to come from within. And it has to be a collective effort. And what I've been trying to do in the first 100 days or so is to talk to as many students as I can, faculty, support staff, senior staff, alumni, and friends, to try to hear from them what their aspirations are for the college. Every school needs to change constantly. Every organization needs to change and constantly improve. So the question is, how can we do that? And so far I've been getting some terrific ideas, and we'll try to put them into action in the months ahead.
Great. So talking of that, what are your immediate goals for the next 3 to 5 years?
Well, that's a tough question. Again, I think that the goals work best if they're collective. I have some ideas for what the college needs to do. I think most importantly, people need to have a better understanding of how extraordinary this college is. We do so many things that are really well. The foundation, the base of the college is spectacular. The commitment to teaching in particular by our dedicated faculty, the opportunities that are available for our students both in the classroom and outside. The challenge really is to how to raise the profile of the school, how to make sure that people understand that this is what Washington College is committed to. We have what people can't buy. We have this remarkable tradition. We have this link to George Washington that no one else has. But in addition to that, we need to do a better job of communicating the academic opportunities that are available here.
Great. So what are you looking for? What do you expect from us as students?
Well, I think I want students that are committed to learning in the classroom and also committed to having fun outside the classroom. I think that's the great thing about college. It's a balance between the academics and life outside the classroom. I think for many students you learn at least as much from your colleagues, from your friends, from your teammates, from other students as you do from your professors. And so I think we want students that are going to be open to new ideas, are going to be adventurous, and are going to study hard as well as play hard.
Okay. Were you in a fraternity in college?
We didn't have fraternities in my college. So in grad school there were fraternities for undergraduates, but I've never been in one.
Okay. So what do you think of Greek life here on campus?
Well, to be honest, I don't really know all that much about it, other than that some of the fraternities and sororities do very good work in terms of the community service, in terms of giving back to the community, in terms of being really good citizens for the college, and that's really commendable.
Great. Have you seen any performances here? The Gibson Centre of the Arts is newly renovated.
I saw a one-man performance this summer in Taws. And I haven't had a chance yet to see anything in Gibson. My wife Elizabeth saw something back in February that she was really impressed by, and she's been trying to help the drama department as much as she can. I'm looking forward to performances in Gibson.
Great, yeah, there's some coming up in the next few months. What are your thoughts on creative arts at Washington College?
Well, I'm really delighted that we have such a beautiful theater, performance space. We also have the recital hall. I think that really speaks well for the performing arts. The creative arts space, I think we need to rethink about how we can do a little bit more for those students there. I think that these are some of the most creative and interesting students on campus, and so we want to make sure that they feel welcome here. We want to attract more of these students, and I think we're off to a good start.
Great. So moving from arts onto the sporting life here, knowing that you're a Division III student athlete at Williams, how do you feel about athletics and their role here?
Well, I was very fortunate having the chance to play a couple of sports when I was in college, and I found that experience really personally rewarding. And it also teaches a lot of life lessons that you don't always get inside the classroom, about discipline, about teamwork, about deferring instant gratification for a longer-term goal. I think those are really useful in life, and I think athletics has an important role to play for most students.
Great. Moving on to another type of question now. What are you going to do to get department chairs involved in recruiting better students?
Well, first of all, I'm delighted with the students that we have. This is the smartest entering class we've had in a decade.
Really?
And really, yes. And the faculty have been involved in recruiting students. What we're trying to do is to strategize a little bit more so that admissions can identify those high schools where we particularly want to have a presence for Washington College, and then see if our faculty, when they go out and they do programs in high schools, will actually go to those, so that we can get a little bit more of a synergistic approach here. And the faculty have been very receptive to this so far, and so I think this will work out quite well.
Great. Okay. How are you going to hold faculty accountable for keeping students on track and helping them make connections to land jobs after graduation?
Well, I'm not sure accountable is the right word. I think the faculty do that already. I don't think they need me to do that for them. Again, the small student-teacher ratio really is one of the great strengths of the college. It allows each student to have a very personal experience with a faculty member. So the faculty have a pretty good idea who's doing a good job in the classroom and who isn't, and I think they get after students before they fall too far.
Yeah, definitely.
And you know, I don't think that they need any instruction from me. I think that they're doing a terrific job as it is. The other aspect of the question has to do with career counseling, and I've met with those people here. I think that they're very well organized. Jim Allison and his whole team, I think, are really on top of what's available out there for our students. It's a very tough economy, as we know, and so one of the things that I've done is to try to link career counseling with the alumni office. Our alumni can be a source of advice, of mentoring, of networking, and perhaps even for job opportunities for our students. So the idea of knitting those two a little bit more closely together, I think will reinforce what we already have, which is a very good career services program. Okay,
great. So next question. In 1995, John Toll created the National Honor Society Scholarship, and it was $10,000 per year, and at the time tuition was $25,000 a year. In the past 15 years, tuition has doubled, but the NHS scholarship has remained unchanged. Do you plan to keep the scholarship current with inflation or implement some increase in the award?
Yeah, thanks for asking the question. We're looking at this specific issue to see if we can increase it. We understand that it has remained flat as costs have increased, so it's no longer the same percentage of the overall tuition bill as it was before. We're looking more broadly at everything having to do with financial aid. To see if we can leverage more dollars so that we can attract the very best students to Washington College. This past year, we were able to offer a record amount of financial aid to our students due to some very generous alumni and donors. So this is on the table, and I'll be discussing it with the Vice President for Admissions as we go forward.
Brilliant. So you bring a breadth of knowledge and real-world experience to Washington College, and we do need it. How are you going to take that experience and make a difference here?
Well, I think that anybody who comes from the outside brings a set of fresh eyes and some new ideas to the college, and so there are some best practices. There's some other opportunities that I think I've been able to identify already for the school. The NATO internship in Brussels is an easy and obvious one already. More broadly, it really is part of an ongoing discussion with the faculty and the students and the alumni about what type of college do we want to be in 5 or 10 years. I think we have an extraordinary opportunity right now at Washington College. We've just increased our rankings 19 positions. The National Science Foundation ranks us 24th in the entire country in terms of preparing students for PhD programs. We have purchased this acreage down by the Chester River. It's going to be a magnificent waterfront campus in the next couple of years. So lots of really good things are happening here at the college. And I think that what I can do is to try to help raise the profile along with everybody else, perhaps connect a little bit more to Washington, D.C., and perhaps provide a little bit more opportunities for both students and faculty overseas through the contacts that I have. So it's going to be a collaborative effort. It needs to be a team effort, but there's some things that I think I can bring. Great.
Linking onto that, actually, what kind of challenges do you foresee here?
You mean other than this interview?
Yeah.
There's challenges every day, and every day is an adventure. And there's issues dealing with buildings and grounds, with faculty, with alumni, with parents. All of these things are part of what I do every day. There are some broader institutional challenges. I think that we may need to get larger in terms of our student body, and the faculty are now leading that conversation. Do we get larger, and if so, how large do we get, and how fast do we get large? The waterfront campus I mentioned, what do we want down there? We know it's this wonderful piece of property, this great opportunity, but what are we going to build down there, and how does it relate to the central campus, and how do we make sure those two are connected? You mentioned scholarship assistance. How can we continue to provide enough financial aid to get the very best students to come to Washington College? How can we provide enough for salaries and faculty enhancement to attract and retain the very best faculty? So there are some big issues out there, as well as the day-to-day issues that I deal with. And so far I'm getting up early and tackling them every day.
Great. How can we raise as a college, help raise our image within the surrounding community?
You mean Chestertown, the Eastern Shore, Maryland, the United States, Yorkshire, the world, everywhere? First of all, it's a question that I spend a lot of time thinking about. It's really hard. It's a very cluttered environment out there. There's lots of noise. There's lots of different ways of communicating now, even in the last 5-10 years, with Facebook and MySpace and Twitter and all those things. I'm not sure is the answer. We need to do a better job on our website. That's been a priority for me. I think that we are improving it. We need to move into the new media, especially social media, and link up students, make sure our alumni are closer to us, make sure that we communicate with all those people who have an interest in Washington College. It's expensive also, okay, so that's another factor to it. I think you probably have to be under 30 years old to really understand how all the new media works, so we need to bring in some people who can help me understand it. But it's a real challenge because everybody else is also trying to get their messages out. And how can we break through? How can we break through the noise so that people can see Washington College for the first-rate liberal arts institution it is? That is an ongoing effort, and I'm hoping that this interview will help a little bit.
Definitely.
So thank you.
What do you want your legacy to be? Like, what do you want to be remembered for?
I've just started, and you've already have me leaving. If by the time I leave, when you tell people, wherever you are, that you went to Washington College, you don't have to say anything else. You don't have to say on the Eastern Shore, in Chestertown, in Maryland. You don't have to. They will know what Washington College is. They will know that it is one of the very best liberal arts colleges in the United States. That's what I want my legacy to be.
Brilliant. And finally, what do you think of the food in the dining hall?
I think the food in the dining hall is fantastic.
Good.
It is so much better than any other academic institution I've ever been at, and it is so much better than many homes I've been at. The choice, the variety, the serving staff there are so friendly, they're so nice, the place is clean. The choice, you can eat healthy foods, you can be vegetarian meals. I can't say enough. I think that they do a really, really good job.
Great. Thank you for talking to us today.
My pleasure.